I am not the best at drawing clothes. Like, have you seen that? Not good at all. So you know what that means. Ignore it! What? No. Study, not ignore. That's a horrible idea. But that is what I'll be doing here. Studying the thing that we all love. First, gotta figure out what type of clothing I'll be doing, since each one acts quite differently from each other. I mean, just compare tight leather pants to a knitted sweater. So, that does beg the question, what is it gonna be? Well, I'm gonna do cotton shirts. From baggy, fitted, tucked, and tight. The first place where you're gonna start is you kinda just need to examine, boom, here. Number one, I'm just gonna kind of figure this out myself, but given from what I know is you have your points of tension. So it seems like this, as I said, point of tension, bam. Now, why is there a triangle here and here? So if I know that there's a point of tension right here, let me do all points of tension red. Tension. Is it because it's being compressed? Because the direction of which it's going is this very circular direction. It's all heading towards the right. Oh wait, I see why it's all heading to the right. So if we look over here, this is the part that's the highest. Boom. They're all squishing like that. There's just a big weird shape going on here. And that explains why this is going this way, but then it starts converging this way, as if it's a bam. Like so, and then breaking it down into its fundamental shapes. And then you have your sleeves. Okay. So I see what's going on here. You know, I think I need to pull out a little bit more in order for myself to like be able to get this a little bit more. I think I'm just gonna draw this, and this one's further up. I'm not trying to be insanely accurate. I'm kind of just trying to get the gist of things. I also probably want to shrink this because I need space for everything else afterwards. And it seems like there's a lot of triangles inside of triangles, and this is being pulled down by gravity, as we showed earlier. It's like along the edge, it kind of pulls outwards, and then there's these wrist things, and because of that you have gravity building up, but at the same time it's pulling it down, and then you get this interlapping shape, and then you get a triangle, and then a triangle within a triangle. Now time to move on to the next one. You know what? I don't think about this. I need to save space. Yeah, bam. Lost his head. Because we don't need that. That's not what we're here for. Now we can save up on space. Alright, so for this portion, I'm just gonna talk over it because I was so locked in that while I was speaking, I was like, it goes like this. And it's just like, oh my goodness. And if I put it louder, it goes, all you hear is my computer fan, and I still don't even know why. Like, but this is so infuriating because it's just like, I have to do a voiceover because I wasn't speaking loud enough. Well, anyways, I'll just be going over my thought processes for this. So as you can see, I already put down the points of tension in red. And there's this big swoop caused by the tension on his right shoulder, which makes the main part of the sweater all fall in that same exact direction. I had made a revelation that point of tension crossed with gravity is what gets you it. So if you form a line of where the tension is, and then if you form a line of gravity which is pointing straight down, then give it another line, and then boom, you got a triangle, you got a fold. I found that really interesting, and that's the main takeaways from this. Now it's time to draw that. And if I'm gonna be honest, there isn't anything particularly special about this one. It's literally just copying it one for one, while also keeping in mind all the things that makes it the way it is, while also simplifying it. So, just gonna skip over it. To truly test my knowledge, I did a figure drawing, which I plan to add a baggy t-shirt on top of. So, I obviously started off with the sleeve first, baggy sleeve. And then I started with making a big old swoop going across the body because, you know, the arm that's raised higher point, like I said earlier, or my examination. Don't know if it's still correct though. And then I added on the bottom right because it's kind of lifted. And for the sleeves, I pretty much just did the same old principles as before, and I took heavy inspiration from the one on the bottom left. So that's neat. I don't know if I was confused here. Now I'm looking at it, I look a little confused. Doesn't look 100% right to me. Oh well. It's almost done. I just need to fix the bottom of that sweater, because that doesn't make any sense. I'm done. Woohoo! Right. Fitted. And now we do the same exact thing that we were doing before. And I mean, that's pretty much it. You just have the forces of gravity on this. It don't matter. Okay, so for it to look at this one, which one's higher? It's clearly this one. So as you can see, bam, bam, everything is gonna turn this way. These triangle motions, everything is triangular based. And this makes sense because of the fact that this is rounded forward. It's gonna cause tension here. And that tension is gonna develop into triangles. That's not a triangle. Reshape this. Goodbye, sir. Your head is now gone. I want to get it in very simple shapes. We got triangles here, did tension, and then sweep. Sweep 1, sweep 2. Well, this one's much easier. Boom. I'm already done. You know, I'll acknowledge it. I said t-shirts, but I'm gonna have a non-t-shirt in here. It was just a different pose, and I mean, it's still fitted, and it's not necessarily like tight. Okay, I identify tension. That I've identified the tension, now we can see as to how it fits. If there's a big triangle this way, this indicates to me that this is also a point of tension right here, so I was actually wrong. There is another point of tension, because if we were to go all the way up, boom, boom, triangle. Right, more, oh my goodness, I completely forgot these are points of tension too. Now, why is this happening? Yet again, same exact thing. The gravity is compressing the clothing. Everything is being pulled down, and everything around here is being pushed up. So we have this push down, pull up, and then we break this into smaller triangles, more manageable ones. I feel like I'm cooking right now. And then these little tiny triangles to follow the shape while also being pulled by everything else. Now, decently awkward posing. How do I put a fitted shirt on this? I still find it funny, this chose I pose. This pose I chose. Now that I have tension, now I can apply a fitted shirt on top. I said absolutely nothing new. And this is kind of mid, so here, have a time lapse. I mean, it doesn't look as good as the other ones, but I would say it's pretty solid. Despite that arm looking pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. New one, unlocked. Time to do tucked. Whenever I searched up tucked, though, I was expecting tight tucked, but I couldn't find. You know, which, okay, I guess. I think I cut a little bit too much, and this is a low-res image. So, once again, have absolutely nothing here to add. I didn't really learn much here. I kind of just continued to apply my knowledge and confirm what I already know. I mean, they look cool, so I'm keeping it here. I definitely could have just splash PNG. But I think that's cool, you know. Gotta give some insight into the process. Pretty much the same thing over and over again, even though, I mean, it's kind of just the same thing as baggy, but it's tucked, so in the bottom of the shirt, it gets pushed in, but then it pushes out, and the gravity pulls it down. So that's cool. Okay, so here's a drawing. So we kind of just need to get points of tension, you know, all along here, and then all along here. Probably want to draw where the pants are gonna be. I would say about here is fine. I feel like I'm choosing a lot of dynamic poses for this for no reason. Well, if we create a triangle of tension, yeah, it's gotta go that way, because you got a big ol' right over here, so that means that everything is gonna fall over this way, That's what I like to imagine. Hopefully I'm right about this. I think that this up here is the bigger problem. Yeah, gravity's gonna affect it, and yeah, it's gonna droop down that way, but wouldn't it just pull this way? I don't think this is wrong, is it? Because this is most definitely wrong. Like, I can see that. It doesn't look right. Or does it doesn't pull downwards, does it? Alright, think to solve. I mean, maybe it does make a little bit of sense. I don't know, somebody can tell me if I'm wrong. It's all gonna bunch up around here, right? Because you have the lat. I think this is right. I think the other ones were most definitely wrong. This just makes more sense. I don't know, maybe this is right. I don't think it is. Wait, you know what? I think it's too loose. There, better. I think maybe it's just too long. I'm just gonna guess that this is good. For this part, let me give you the quick rundown because there really isn't anything special about this. It's just tight shirts. Basically, you just draw the body, removing details and adding a few folds here and there. And as for the second one, it's just the shape of the body, less detailed, and calling it a day. Because that one's really tight. Bam! Done. So cool. Alright, lower the opacity. Now, let's find where is the tension here. So, it's quite literally everywhere. If I remember correctly, it's everywhere. It's all around here. I don't even know if there's a point in doing that. Now the question is, what type of tightness do I want to do? Do I want to do tight like the second one, or do I want to do tight like the first one? I feel like I'll do tight like the first one, because that one just, there's a little bit more going on, because the second one is really simple. And there was really like 0 points in me drawing that one. I'm guessing it's something like that, right? I don't know if I'd have all those little things down there, but certainly a circular shape, yeah. Since this is gonna be touching here, the fabric is gonna move around it, right? I haven't even looked into stuff like this. This feels very anticlimactic. It's like, wow, I just did the fourth one and it's the easiest one. I feel like I went in reverse. I start off with baggy, which arguably is the hardest, because you gotta think most about how the gravity works and whatnot. And then fitted, which isn't as hard, but it makes sense. I still don't think this one looks as good. I think it's just the anatomy might be a little poor here. This one just looks like baggy 2.0. Because it was kind of anticlimactic, I'm gonna pull out all the stops. So line of action, let me draw line of action first. Don't be stinky. It's gonna go BAM! And then BAM! Well, I'm not here for the face, okay? So before you start judging away, I'm here for drawing clothing by doing this. And I'm gonna be drawing pants. The most important part, pants. I use this line of action, but I'm gonna be completely honest. I don't think I lined up anything right. I'm probably gonna do baggy pants. I really don't need to put this much effort into this, but you know what? I'm doing it.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
Right, gotta understand how the body works underneath. So I can't just be like, well, you know, is this really all necessary? And yes, it is. I'm putting those lines there for a reason, just so I can understand the perspective on it. Give her the coils. The hands, just like the feet, will be neglected. Good enough for me. Good enough face for me, honestly. The fit. There. This is what I'll be copying. Even though she's really pretty, I must erase her face so I could enlarge it. So I first want to analyze the outfit that I'm going to be doing. So as far as I can tell, this shirt seems to be fitted. Here now, it's probably going to get lifted, but this is decently a long shirt. It goes all the way down to the bottom of the pelvis, so shirt would go around here. This seems to be tight here. Decently tight over here, but then flares out at the bottom. And then this is fitted again, maybe a little tight. So I now have an understanding of this. So now I want to illustrate the points of tension. That is gonna be a point of tension. It's gonna pull across. It's fitted. It's gonna be around here, all around here. It's gonna pull over here. the breasts. I think I'm gonna start off with the shirt first and then move on to the pants because it's something I have a greater idea of what I'm doing. So right away, it's gonna pull across, it's gonna go over the breast, and it's gonna pull all the way down this way here, and then it's all just gonna compress. But because it's compressing, they're going to fold on top of each other. And then you're gonna have something like that. Okay, this is kind of making me happy just how much better I've gotten at this. This is something I didn't study, and this is kind of just something I have to go off of. Just think of the things that I've done and kind of just be like, well, what is the most likely scenario here? What's the most likely to occur? And I think that this is the one. And that's one of the things that I like about doing stuff like this is you don't actually know. It seems to be affected by gravity somewhat, but I don't, because of how tight it is. I think just the tension from the sides just matter infinitely more. Tension is going to be pulling it down here. Awesome. Okay, now on to the rest. So now if we want to look at where tension is going to be all here because the knee is lifted. Tension is going to be there, all around here. It's going to tighten around, right? That's if I had to guess, because gravity is still going to be pulling it down this way, and the only tension I can see is over here. But would that be enough to pull everything in that way? I mean, we can see. Let me try that first. Like something like that. Nah, that doesn't make any sense. You know what? I'm gonna start with the other leg first. It seems to just be pretty flat. I'm just copying this one for one because I don't need to make any adjustments to it. Maybe it's like this instead. And she's got the ripped part over here, so there. I ain't no good at drawing shoes. If I want to do maybe I should do a shoe study next. Studying shoes, because I am horrible at it. I'm more so just impressed with that shirt. Although I do feel like this part is kind of disjointed. Okay, that feels a teeny bit better, but I think it's kind of just the way it folds over or whatever. I would say this is pretty successful, but if you guys notice some big old flaw in here, I will revisit it, or if you notice a flaw elsewhere in my drawings, like maybe the way I do liner is just horrible, horrendous, never do it again, I can make that into a video. With that, it's the end of this video. And if you're also struggling with clothing, you should not necessarily do exactly what I did, because I ain't no expert here, you know, maybe do some research and start studying clothing properly, you know, get those nice folds in, make it look crisp, clean. Deuces.